if you're going to get people excited to vote for you for the sake of efforts to like materially help people and create a more equal society, you've got to be pushing stuff that's like big and ambitious. And it's going to get people excited and inspired on that kind of emotional, visceral level. I mean, if you're going to say Biden and the Democratic leadership certainly haven't done that, so like there's really no way, unfortunately, that the 2022 election's going to end up being about that, then unfortunately I agree.
But everything they are doing that's in that vein is hurting Americans in their pockets. So if we want to talk about, if you want to like change it to actual policy, we can go economic policy, energy independence, and how we've totally depleted in less than in a year and a half. Our energy independence, and we can talk about how inflation and ridiculous excessive spending is the cause of this inflation. So let's go into policy. Let's go into, if you want to, you know, get to this everybody equal kind of utopia that you want to live in. How is it, like Biden implementing those policies is hurting Americans in their pocket. And that's going to be another driver for the election season too. I mean, people are looking at their own gas prices.
Which of those do you think Biden has implemented? Because, I mean, last I checked, even the $15 minimum wage didn't happen, which was absurdly...
We're talking about the not drilling on federal lands, the Keystone Pipeline canceling, the Nordic Stream sanctioning that one, being more energy dependent on Russia and
So now you're talking. So now you're talking about environmental policies, and that's fine to talk about, but that's a very different thing from what we were just talking about in terms of.
We were talking about economic policy.
It's not really about the environment.
An economically egalitarian, policy to make the society more economically egalitarian. Biden has done exactly nothing. I mean, even the $15 minimum wage was nixed on the grounds that, sorry, the Senate parliamentarian, a staffer who issues non-binding recommendations we could fire at any time, said we couldn't. That shows what the level of commitment to that is, which is nothing.
Well, he's not even sentient, so like, let's not act like he's the one that's, in charge of anything. It's all staffers anyway. But
I mean, they've made, Biden made so many promises down the line through the campaign. Oh, we're going to cancel $10,000 in student debt. What happened to that? Oh, we're going to give everybody, if Georgia, if John Ossoff and Warnock, if they win their race, we're going to give everybody a $2,000 check. And they were like, oh, not really $2,000. Remember that? It was just like a $1,200 check.
Actually, it was Trump, to correct you, it was Trump pushing the $2,000 checks, which I actually came out against too.
They jumped on it, and that was the selling point.
But Ossoff and Warnock certainly ran on it,
Warnock's gone.
And all of the Democrats
Warnock is not going to win his
election. Special elections. And they didn't do it, which I agree. Biden sucks. He should have done those things.
I mean, the defense for the 1,400, oh my God, I'm defending Joe Biden a little bit, is that he said that they give him 6 and then he gave him 14, which was not the promise.
No, Warnock had on his Instagram, it said, see this $2,000 check? It could be yours if you vote for me. I mean, they said 2,000. They didn't say 1,400 or whatever.
I love that politics has devolved so much where they're like, we'll bribe you with your own money. Just come out to the polls.
Look, they took every single word that Trump said literally, and then when we do it back, they're like, no, let's walk that back. That's not what they meant. Joe Biden, poor Joe Biden, he didn't mean to say that, if Russia had a chemical weapon, if they used a chemical weapon, we would respond in kind, which means we'd use chemical weapons. He didn't say that. No, he didn't say, oh, hey, this man, Putin, cannot remain in power. He didn't say that. He didn't mean that. He didn't mean it, and then he denies it. The guy's a joke.
All very solid criticisms. That's why I campaigned hard for the other guy, the primary.
But Trump is like, oh my God, he said Kofefi once. And oh my God, it's a headline for a week. With Trump, it's like, hey, Trump likes 2 scoops of ice cream at the White House. It's amazing. You can't believe this. He loves ice cream. And then with Joe Biden, they're like, what kind of ice cream are you eating, sir? Oh, chocolate. So
you missed the best.
It's such a double standard. Anyway, I'm getting.
You missed the best part of that, where he said that Putin couldn't remain in power, but that was his personal opinion. It wasn't the position of the presidency. They pulled a pope.
But after he said that, CNN and MSNBC they were basically like, he's this is like his Reagan Berlin Wall moment, that he was calling for regime change, and then immediately the White House is like, he didn't mean that. He didn't mean that exactly.
Because it gives Putin no out, right? Like if you want him to pull back from this, and you're going to automatically say that he's some, war criminal, and that means he's going to be tried. It doesn't give him an out to pull out. If anything, it's going to make him double down. It was like one of the worst things he could have said ever.
Yeah.
And now we're here where we are.
I mean, I agree. I have had an article in the Daily Beast last week about why the U.S. should be pushing for a negotiated solution to the conflict. Sounds like everything Andrew's been saying for the last few minutes are all the criticisms that the left has made of Biden. And so, of course, they're all ones I agree with.
But why do we care about this issue? There's 14 other conflicts going around where there's more people dying than in Ukraine right now. There's 14 other conflicts. And why do we care about this one? And this is what's more important than actually what policy and what elections are there. Because what happens is that the media controls all the narratives. It controls what you care about. It controls what conflicts you care about. It controls all of that. And so it doesn't really matter who wins what election, because the thing that's driving everything in this country is like this overarching media narrative, which is clearly aligned with the left, as I'm sure you would agree with. And so what does it matter? What does it matter who's in there?
Do you agree with that? That the left runs the media?
Yeah, I think that the left runs the media to the exact extent that Marx is concerned with race and gender in the Communist Manifesto.
They are.
I think that, like, giant corporations run the media, giant corporations whose profit interests are obviously aligned with precisely the opposite of the left's agenda. Giant corporations that don't want to have to pay their employees.
Like Disney?
Yes, like Disney. Because, again, the reason you don't think so is that you think that this kind of culture war ephemera, you think that that's like the heart of it. But certainly if you think about like the platform Bernie Sanders ran on in 2016 and 2020, how much of that stuff do Disney executives want? They want to pay their workers more money. They want to make it easier for their workers to unionize. Do they want to be taxed to pay for all these expansive social programs? Of course not, right? Again, as Sean pointed out, I don't think the mic picked it up.
That might be hypocritical of them.
This is indeed why I work for independent left media, Jacobin Magazine, because I do not think that,
have meetings
that the
where they're
media
pushing
is run by the left. If you want to say that the corporate plutocrats who run the media have cultural politics that are more liberal than yours, I'm sure that's true, but I think that's a very different claim. You have been watching free public content from Give Them an Argument. To access every single episode of the show, the main show on Monday nights, all of the streams, all of the debate breakdowns, all of the patron-exclusive postgames on Monday nights, all of the patron-exclusive bonus episodes every week, and much, much more, go to patreon.com/Ben Burgis. I cannot resist ending this with, don't be foolish.